the motion, actually, if I can restate, is to file the CIS opposing the council file with this as the text of the,
Yes.
of the opposition.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, we don't have to do anything else.
Okay. Any,
Yeah, I don't think you can do that. This is a recommendation you're gonna give to the board.
right,
Yes,
right.
yeah.
Our motion is to file this community impact statement, that motion passed by the committee will come to the board.
Okay.
So we don't make a motion to send something to the board, because
No,
if we
you're
did that,
making a
then the motion when it got there
recommendation
would be to
to the
send it
board
to the board, which wouldn't have effect.
Yeah.
So we actually, we passed the motion we want to do, and then it's
This
taken
is
to
our
the board
recommendation
for.
to the board for the council.
Okay, I heard, we're gonna do a CIS.
That, the motion,
The
the
board
motion
will do a
is to
CIS.
file a CIS. This
Okay.
motion goes to the board for action. And that's the standard procedure.
Yeah.
So, okay. Mr. Guzman.
When you take this to the board, should the CIS already be completed for their approval, or you just, I mean, you're saying you're going to file a CIS, but don't you need to tell them what the CIS is that you're gonna
Well, we
file?
did,
What-
yeah, let me restate it.
Basically just your motion.
Our motion is to, our motion is to, the action we're gonna take, the board
Okay,
action.
I got you.
Okay, so the motion is to file a
Question
CIS
withdrawn.
in opposition to the council file with the opposition text saying, we, the Granada Hills South area, what Eric just wrote out.
But the CIS can't.
I gotcha,
Can't
okay.
happen until the board votes on it.
Right.
Yeah, and then we have to, call out the number of votes for, against, and, abstentions. And along with that, we have to submit, the minutes in which,
Actually, I think we can just submit the agenda.
the agenda, but we have to do the minutes
We have to
also.
basically show it's
Yeah.
properly agendized.
So it's properly agendized and so forth and so on. That's where it's gotta be,
Yeah.
sent in.
Okay, let's get a vote then.
Whoa, I have a comment.
Yes,
Yeah, okay, this is a neighborhood council, we're a committee. What I see here now is one of the members came up, researched it, said the opposition to this was, he's got a couple letters and testified. I don't see anybody on the other side, I don't see any outreach on this, and I know it's about cats, but whatever we do here pertains to everything. So we have to have, we can't just have one board member pushing it through without seeing any other opposition.
Yes, we can. If you remember, Linda last night explained to us, we can have stakeholders doing this. There's too much stuff coming before. Now, but they have to explain it to us. That's why I wrote this all out like this. The council, the council, this motion cannot be more than 100 words. This is over 500 words. This has got to be way cut down. But this is for the explanation of why I came to that opinion.
My problem is you have the word "I," it should be "we."
No, I put we.
Well, I know, but
It
it's
says
"I."
we. All the way through
Okay,
it says
I'll
we.
pass it up. I just hope when it comes up to the board for the vote, you get the opposition, because in Granada Hills, we have always looked at two sides of every problem.
Two sides of.
So that,
Right.
I'm just, I'm saying.
Look,
you
I'm
want to
not
go
saying
vote.
that somebody, when it goes before the board, if somebody wants to object, fine. That's fine. I hope there is somebody who objects.
I
But
hope,
this-
no,
I'm
it's
laying
your
out-
job as the, excuse me for interrupting, but you've been interrupting me all day. I've counted at least 7 times. Okay, no, it's up to this board on any issue to get both sides of it, you know? And it isn't, I hope somebody comes there. It's your job to get the opposition.
No, it is not.
okay,
Okay,
hang on,
very-
hang on. Mr. Guzman.
You know, Jim brought it up, and now that he brings it up, and now that I think about it, it would be right to have somebody come in that's on the opposite side of this to speak to it. And I want to go back to H&R Block. H&R Block, you want to have come in and give their side to defend their illegal activity of posting signs. And yet you don't want to afford this other side of this issue to come in and share their views and their opinions. I think that Jim makes a very good point.
First of all, let me,
Hang on.
wait a minute,
I wanna
let me
address
explain something
Eric.
that everybody should understand about council files. We have 1 or 2 meetings, 1 meeting a month. 1 meeting. The city council has 3 a week. We don't have a lot of time to research and go out and drum up and find oppositions to our points. We just don't. We take a position on a council file as it is presented to us. What I did, I went and researched the council file. I looked at all the people who were for and all the people who were against. And the people who were against this is like this. The people who are for it is just the Department of Animal Services. And everybody said the same thing. You're trying to get the animal people, the animal rights people off your back, and you don't want to do your job. Your job is to get rid of unwanted cats. There's always going to be some unwanted animals you have to get rid of. Now, if Peter shows up at our meetings and say, we object, we think that there should be more cats, fine. Our neighborhood council is looking at this situation, and I certainly hope other stakeholders, I hope all of you would like to learn how to research these council files, find something that you're interested in. Not something somebody else's, but something that you're interested in that the city is trying to push for, and you say, I like this, and I want to recommend this to this committee or some other committee, and this is my point of view on it. Now, if somebody in the interim between this meeting and our board meeting has something else to say, fine, you do that. But I was researching this because nobody else was, and this is my recommendation to the board.
Okay, let me
Quick
just.
question, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Who put this, this suggestion, in other words, who made this?
Paul corrects, his fact says right there at the top. February 17th, item number 4, Department of Animal Service reported in response to motion Correct and O'Farrell relative to implementing changes to the Los Angeles Municipal Code to increase the number of cats that the city residents may own from 3 to 5.
In other words, the government put this, or the people that own the cat? Like-
No, this came from Animal Services. So Paul corrects.
So obviously, the government's trying to put this thing in you know,
Right,
in force.
somebody else.
So, but you're saying you need to have people that may be opposed to this, is what you're saying.
No,
Who
I
are
think
these people? They're not the ones that put this into force, the government did. So we
Yeah.
have to get the government in here, right?
Right. And I'm saying I oppose what the government is trying to do.
Well, anything for their back to be clear, you know? Don't bug me, just let it ride.
Can I?
And besides, just because we make this motion, this suggestion, this council file, all 96 other neighborhood councils in the city can do the same thing that we're doing, and they could be opposed. So there is some opposition or potential for opposition. We're just one of 96.
Okay, Eric, I know you're passionate about this, but
Yeah,
Maria, please.
yeah, let me just kind of maybe clarify. I mean, while, some of us may think this is a good idea, it is probably a good idea when we have a point like this again, to bring it before the committee for discussion, a little more discussion. I think, Eric, just, humbly and respectfully, and now that you guys, bring this point up, I think it is a good idea to have a little bit of back and forth, about the issue. No matter what it is, a little more background. Why some people might want to have 15 cats, because maybe it keeps them off the street. But then what does that do to the owner? You know what I mean? Like a little more debate on it.
That's fine. I'm saying that debate can come forth at our board meeting when we're considering this. But for right now, this is what I propose for this council. Now, if somebody wants to do the research, please have at it. And then come back to the board, because that's what we're gonna discuss.
I'm sure everybody's gonna second it. We second it, you're done.
So,
Personally, more than 3 cats in a household, personal opinion, I mean, I'm sure somebody may like more than 3. is more than enough. If anything more than 3, you're gonna be coming hoarders, like you said.
Yeah.
I don't wanna say it, but it's gonna happen, or you're gonna let them go. You know, I mean, with today's, you know,
Okay,
people,
well, maybe in today's case, you know, we probably can fairly say that we might agree on this, but just in fairness down the road, if we do have something, let's say like, would you like to have 30 prisoners living next door to you? Because some people who are operators might say, yeah, because they have no place else to go. And then you would say, but that is killing our neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Like a little more fair debate.
no, I understand what you're
Yeah.
saying, but you gotta be sensible. There's a community we're living in. You know what I'm saying? Do we want things to go out of hand, or we want?
I agree. In this case, it works, but there are issues that are kind of like down the
I
middle.
understand.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, okay, but do you think that adult daycare, would you like 2 or 3 more? Everybody who thinks that's a good idea, raise your hand.
What?
It's just not a fair debate. How come we don't have anybody for more adult daycare centers in your neighborhood?
We're gonna ask the operator, and to answer Mr. Kuzman's statement, you know, and you're right, our goal is to have both sides represented, so we're not just ramrodding things through. In the case of H&R Block, in the case of the center, the person is very easily identifiable. We can walk over there, we can hand the agenda and say, you need to come to this meeting if you wanna have a say. This one's a little harder to do, and Jim, I think, in fairness, this is the sort of thing that actually rests on the outreach committee. The planning and land use committee, we've got our hands full with going over these files and going through the planning code and checking these things out. I mean, we're the ones that have to go down to the city office to pull stuff out of city planning or out of building and safety. So, you know, to expect us to also do all of the outreach associated with this, I mean, that is
That's
what
not-
the outreach committee is for,
That's
is to
not
make
what
the
I'm
outreach
asking.
on all of the issues in the council.
That's not what I'm asking, and it's a principle of the neighborhood council. My thing is, I see Eric, he did a lot of work, which we appreciated, and I know it takes a lot of work to do this, but the only opposition, he said, is a list he read. It's not, you could have gone to Department of Animal Services, we could have gone to some, pet organizations and gotten the other side. What really pissed me off is this is about cats. While we're missing some big issues on this agenda, I don't know if you know this, they wanna put vacation properties in residential areas.
That's
You
gonna be
know?
on the next.
And
agenda.
that's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be-
but I mean, instead of cats, we should have done that.
Well, you know what, and I think we can agree on that. The problem is, these are the items that were sent to me by the committee members to be on the agenda. That's what
I sent you the other thing on vacation properties.
when I put the word out for what to go on the agenda, what I got back was from Eric from Bank. And I
You're
may
right.
have,
This
I
was
may
a
have,
good thing.
I may have
And you were at
overlooked
the
that
bank
one.
meeting too, and what you sent in also had cats on it. I just,
Also, but it had the
Right.
resident vacation
you're right,
properties.
you're right, it did. I took the easiest one first. That's all I did. I just took the easiest one first because we don't have a lot of time. Our next board meeting is next week. This meeting was this week. I had 3 days to redo my research. I didn't have time to research everything. You're right.
So you pick cats.
So I just picked cats. It's an easy one.
All right, so, okay.
Jesus.
The Jim, your point's good. I did, and I missed it. I know I got your email.
I know I
And I know
sent
that
it.
was on there, and I talked to Brad the other day about it, we looked at it, and I was thinking, why didn't I put this on the agenda? And it's because it wasn't there in front of me the day that I made the agenda.
I sent
But
it about half an hour after he sent his to you.
That one I didn't get. I got the one from you much earlier in the
Okay.
week, but the one right at the agenda, believe me, if I got that, it would have been on here, because I fully intended to put it on.
My point is you should table this until you get opposition. Just at a point of principle, we have to hear both sides of the story, and that's our.
And I don't really think you're gonna have,
Well,
look,
You
I'm
can
gonna
do
tell
what
you,
you want.
there's
It's
one
your
coming
committee.
up that I
It's your
think
committee.
everybody's
Okay.
gonna have something to weigh in on, and that is the EIR element, that the city is putting forth, the health and welfare. Now, that one there is really open. I don't know how to go on that one because it sounds good, but it's fraught with reasons why you
I
can
think we
actually
should go on
have
with the vote. Just carry on the meeting. Go
Is
on.
that
all
the
of them.
next agenda item?
That is.
Yes, it is.
Could we talk about that?
Yes, we
Well,
can.
not
We
yet.
have to
Not
finish.
yet.
We gotta vote
Okay.
on this.
Guys, we have a
motion.
motion and a second on filing that CIS, and if any of the committee members do wanna table it to, or postpone it to the next meeting, that would be in order now if anybody wants to do it. Okay, so I'm not seeing that motion, so we'll move on to the vote for the community impact statement. All in favor?
Oh, you talking about Cat? Okay, fine,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, I'm staying out of this one, because I'm really on the fence.
I am on the fence.
I get the
too.
chair, so I don't have to vote.
Okay.
The thing about it is, if we don't do
Okay, well, hang on,
something, we
discussion,
won't have a
discussion's
say.
over. Okay, all in favor, Eric's in favor,
I am
all opposed,
on the fence.
and abstentions?
Abstention.
Okay, and that's
Motion
one
fails.
vote to zero, so I believe that's a pass.
Oh, okay.
Hmm?
Point of order,
Yeah.
isn't an abstention counted as a negative?
It is not.
a nay vote?
It is not.
Okay.
We changed the bylaws on that back when you were president. Or,
No,
well,
after.
okay, I think it was
That's the
Dave,
problem.
yeah, it was Dave, because I was on the bylaws committee.
You know, let me make a note. We have did 5 of these since the neighborhood council, this neighborhood council came to existence. Never have we had an opposition to the way we filed these council files in the past.
That's not true.
Okay, which one?
Okay, hang on.
Cole, everybody was against Cole.
Eric, I need to call order here.
Call order.
We passed the vote, this item is done. It is going to the council, so there we can, unfortunately, we can raise this up again. I mean,
Yeah, yes,
for better or
yes,
worse,
we
we can have a better discussion about this and decide if it's gonna go forward. So that's the appropriate forum to hash this out now.
Okay.
All right, the health and wellness element. I know Maria did some research on that. Eric, I don't know if you did.
I did a little.
Oh, I shouldn't say research. I know you printed it out.
All I did is printed it out and said, oh my God, you guys, look at this,
Yeah.
80
Okay.
pages.
80 pages, vote against it?
The thing about it is, I've read it, it's got some nice things that the city wants to do to help people out, better neighborhoods, better parks, but it opens it up to developers, because you can use this to justify almost anything. That's the thing. It sounds benevolent and everything, but you can use it to justify why you need more housing in an area, why you need some really negative things that would come into our neighborhood, and that's the hard part about whether or not you support it or
I
not.
have one question. Has enough research been done for us to take a position?
I
on
don't
it?
believe so.
Okay, Mr. Kuzman, you have to.
What is this document?
General plan amendment to the plan for a healthy Los Angeles, a new
Oh.
health and wellness element. This is brand new to the
This is the
general
healthy
plan.
LA kind of thing, okay.
And they want to,
Can you summarize it for us, Maria?
Oh,
in-
yeah.
We have to dig
I
through
think-
this.
No,
in
no, no,
order
no,
to
no,
do that.
we dig through it later, I just kinda wanna,
would
you
you
know,
just
you can
like me
give,
to
just
read?
no, just a brief overview
Well, there's
of,
a summary.
a
Maybe
nice,
she could read the
a
summary.
nice unbiased brief summary of what
Yeah,
it's
if there's just a 2-paragraph summary, why don't you read it?
Pursuant to sections 555 of the city charter transmitted herewith, action of city planning approving the proposed general plan amendment to adopt the plan for a healthy Los Angeles, a new wellness element. As evidenced by the attached findings that determine that the plan amendment changes will be consistent, and basically, this has to
Yeah,
do
tells us
with, this
nothing.
has to do with air, this has to do with air quality, this has to do with
Water.
open space, water and that kind of a thing. And I'm sure that this will probably have to do with some type of provisions of conditions when it comes to development and building, that kind of thing has to revolve around this, and probably some certain bonuses will be given, you know, just like there are for maybe the baseline mansionization, that kind of a
So I
thing.
think the answer is we haven't had time to review it enough to even develop a summary.
My computer crashed, I hardly got to see it.
Okay.
the link is on
So
the
it-
agenda though, right?
Sorry?
The link to that's on the agenda?
The council file number is there.
Okay,
So, yeah,
I'll go look it up.
cityclerk.lacity.org and then
I get
council. All right, so do we have a motion to postpone
Yes. So moved.
Second.
by Eric. Any objections? No, okay, so we'll postpone that to next time.
We're gonna have to do a lot of research.
Who wants to do the research on that?
Who brought this forward?
I brought it forward from Bank because they said we need to take this up.
Okay.
Bank is the Valley Alliance
Okay,
of Neighborhood.
We have
Councils.
15 council files, Eric, and you picked this one, okay.
No, actually,
And the cats.
Brad was looking at it and said, this looks like it should be a planning and land use issue. And he also named a couple of others that he thought.
Yes, he did.
That should be planning and land use issues.
Which
So-
are gonna be on the next agenda.
which are gonna be on the next agenda. So we've got a lot of work to do. Like I said, cats are just the tip of the iceberg. It gets difficult after this.
Okay, Eric, since you're talking to Bank, could I ask you to get an indication from them of what order these things are coming down in, so we can make
You know what,
better
I don't think they're
decision
coming
which
down
way
in any order. I think,
None of them are on a fast track?
you know what, the only thing you can do is, like Linda said last night, we have to look at the dates. Go in the council file and look at the dates and see when it was open. Some of these are about to sunset. And if we don't get our opinions in, then we won't have an opinion.
Well, if they sunset, it won't matter, because they'll be gone.
Well, what I mean is they will be voted on. They were either sunset or they will be voted on, in which case, once they're voted on,
If they're
we can't have
sunsetting,
a
we're
say.
wasting our time.
Yeah,
You know,
But-
Plan Check and Bank kind of have these lateral council files that are going together.
yeah,
And,
exactly.
and Plan Check, different than Bank, has a priority list.
Can you forward that list?
Sure.
Okay.
I will, it's a Excel sheet that's 5
I will
pages.
agendize according to
Oh.
the priority on
You
that.
know,
Isn't there a
stakeholders here,
sustainability,
let me get your attention. I really wish some of you had been at the meeting last night. We had this beautiful PowerPoint presentation by Linda Galvani. She's president of the Lake Balboa. She tells you how to do research for any questions you've got. How to find who's pushing what agenda, what ordinance, whatever, and some of it you won't even have to look for. You can subscribe to it because you say, I'm interested in this council file. It has to do with, it could be a housing, property zoning issue. And if you just want to follow it, they will send the information to you if anything changes in it. And one of the things we're trying to do is get more stakeholders involved in doing some of this research, because you don't have to go anywhere. You can do it at home on your computer. Everything is right there. All you have to know how to navigate the city's website to find out where these are at, and it's all right there. And once you see it, you'll say, oh God, I can find out how come this happened, or how come that happened, and who is supporting this, which councilman is supporting this, and which councilman said that he was gonna do this, and then did something else. So that's a good thing about council files. And I'm hoping that you'll come to our meetings, because I asked Dave Brevet of the residence group, Granada Hills residence group, if he would invite Linda Galvani, because residence group is more stakeholder centric. It's for residents, homeowners. I'm a member of it. She is, quite a few of our members. In fact, the neighborhood council came out of the residence group. And they have a lot of speakers, and it would be great if you saw this. It's so eye-opening as to what the city does, how they do it. It takes all of the mystique away from it. So when that happens, stay in touch, and we'll let you know when that presentation will be.
Okay,
Yes.
Mark.
The health and wellness, this file, is it an environmental issue, or is it a?
It
Part
is-
of it.
It is.
Because there's, I know there's a sustainability.
It is an
uh,
EIR.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
it's-
the neighborhood council I know has a sustainability group then, or something like that, regarded that will address environmental issues.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. It's something, well, okay.
Um,
we can't.
Okay, so Did we, I cannot remember if we took a motion.
No,
You-
it's gonna have to be,
Okay,
yeah.
we did postpone, okay, very good. All right, that takes us on to the report, so, Maria, anything on, the specific plan, anything new there?
I'll blow through these quickly. With the design review board, I'm waiting to meet with Anita Cerner to discuss some of the concerns and some of the lacking that we have in that new report from the, city planning done in 2013, that I found was really lacking. There's the overall zoning, keeping it a C1, looking at parking lot screenings are some of the other issues, and definition of a project. They took out the change of use condition in that. They lined it out, Jerry, as a flat. So I'm gonna have to get some clarification from Anita before we make a final proposal on that. So we will be meeting with the design review board to go over some of these specifics within the specific plan.
Okay.
We made a motion, or we made a recommendation to take some of the information from the specific plan from 2008 at the board. What was that decision that we made? Who are we gonna forward that letter to?
That was, to go to city planning.
Okay, well, that was gonna go to city planning, okay. So are we gonna send that resolution over to city planning? Or who's gonna send the resolution over, how are we gonna do
I
this?
thought you were working on it.
Oh, you thought I was working on it? Okay,
I thought you said you were.
well, you said, Maria, you need to do it, I never agreed, but okay, what we can. That's how the conference, but I can do it, just let me know what to do, because, you know, I don't have the formal information that you do. Give me the template, whatever
Thank you for
it
coming.
needs. Yeah, thank you, the neighborhood
Thank
council
you.
template, and I will do that. Okay, because we need to put this in a format,
Okay.
okay, I need to put this in
Yeah,
a
I
format.
can send that to you.
You haven't sent it to me, okay, great, okay.
Any public comment on, specific plan? A and B, okay? Anything new on community care facilities?
No, the committee hasn't met,
And, the community plan?
nothing?
Okay, public comment on those items? None, okay. That takes us to the end. Maria,
Any new business?
anything for the next? Eric?
No,
Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.